Hey folks, welcome to yet another episode of The Fake Appeal with Pacers with pretty feet. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know what's happening with my tongue today, but let's get started. So this is your Don Beardman, Adityan Ganesh, and Stick Cricket Atharva Tambade. Um, right. So we are here to talk about the shock retirement of the day, Ben Stokes. Atharva doesn't think it's shock. He was like he expected it to happen as soon as Ben Stokes made his debut. But this series has been kind of sad in that sense. The two central characters from the 2019 World Cup final. One man who refused to get angry even when that was like the one time in his entire life where nobody would have been pissed off at him for being angry. Williamson retired, and then Ben Stokes retired today. So as soon as we got the news, Atharva and I, I was getting a haircut today, and I was like I made the barber wait for like 10 minutes just to figure out like, wait, no, this can't be happening. What's happening? Right? And so both of us have strong feelings about Ben Stokes, and like the one generation above us, like the people who grew up watching cricket and then like 90s and 2000s when you started there. Like Freddie Flintoff was really important to their overall experience from watching cricket.
Hmm.
And similarly, right, like for the two of us and for people of our generation, Ben Stokes is like a very central character in terms of like what cricket means to a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And like everything about him, he is, I don't know, like probably one of the two biggest sex icons of cricket of this generation, next to Virat Kohli. In terms of popularity, right, like he is on par with a lot of Indian cricketers. Maybe not on par with Indian cricketers as such, but his popularity is like on a different level. Right, and when he gets out, like it would have been a straight ball that did absolutely nothing in the air, nothing off the wicket, no extra bounce. It's just a straight ball. He would be like, how dare this ball get me out? Like, this ball, he would act as if the ball pitched well outside the leg stump, close to the wide line on the leg side, and then hit top off from nowhere. Like, ball of the century is like not a good ball. Like, this the ball that got Ben Stokes was a harder ball.
Like, like I had this thing, right? Like with Ben Stokes, like if you see this real great swing bowling compilations, like I like to see that Wasim Akram is bowling, Anderson is bowling, and you see that McCullum is getting bowled and all. Like there is no video of Ben Stokes there. But Ben Stokes, every reaction is like, oh, I got that. Again, and there is no ball to Virat also. Like there is one more similarity between both of them. In like last 3 years of Virat, it was always like after he gets out, he looks at the pitch. He like with his like bewildered look. So yeah, like like Ben Stokes, like for me, like like I started watching cricket very like seriously, I'll say, for like a test cricket from the Johnson's Ashes, like from 2013. And that was the time when like Ben Stokes like debuted. Like I don't know that Ashes is Johnson's Ashes, but there was a match in Wacker where I remember commentator put his mobile phone in a crack in the middle of the pitch. And in that match, Ben Stokes scores a century. Like ball is like Pacers ball are darting towards the slip in that. Like it was quite dangerous. And that was my first introduction to this guy. Like he used to look very different. Like he was quite bulky and like he used to look very different. And but yeah, from those points and
It's
it
kind
has
of like
evolved.
his entire career, isn't it?
Hmm.
Like it feels like whenever he puts his mind to something, he'll just work out a method to get it done.
Yeah.
But he's also quite limited in the sense, we just make it sound easy. Like, like even when we talk to kids, right? Like make sure you give all your dedication, all your motivation, work hard. But that is not like an easy skill to master.
Yeah.
So somehow it's like when we talk about ABD Villiers' ability to pick up balls quickly from the bowler's hand, we talk about it as if it's like like something that ABD Villiers was born with that cannot be learned by other people, right?
Hmm.
But things like patience, Alastair Cook's patience, or Steve Smith's ability to like just keep doing the same thing over and over, like until he figures out a way in the nets and so on, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe that is not what Ben Stokes' strength is. But the times when he wants to get something done, his ability
Hmm.
to get it done is like on a different level compared to
Yeah.
some other people from this generation, right?
Like the guy is like a machine in a way. Like people remember that Adelaide, not Adelaide, sorry, Edge Western, like where he scored, like you know what he did there. But in his first 70 balls, he's below 10, like the score, like where he's just defending the line ball after another.
Wait, you mean
And
Headingley?
oh, not Edge Western, sorry, Headingley. He has done something in Edge Western, but whatever, sorry. But I mean Headingley, yeah. Like he's just defending one ball after another, and but once he decides that I'm going to hit a six, even if there are six fielders on the boundary, it doesn't matter. I'm going to hit a six over the mid wicket. That's it. I'm going to do that. So
Right. No, that is
it's
the
something.
fascinating part, right? Like if we
Hmm,
talk about his legacy,
hmm,
this is something that I really struggle with, right? Like I did not watch Flintoff play the game. Like
yeah.
I was 10 years old when he retired, and I did not know cricket back then. And if I go and look into his figures right now, right? Like Flintoff's batting average is 31, bowling average is 32. Really useful figures, but it's not obvious that how was Freddie Flintoff useful to the team just by looking at these numbers, right? So one, you have to judge all-rounders in a very different way. Like 31 is probably like three-fourths a batter, and 32 is probably like three-fourths a full bowler. So you have
Yeah.
like 1.5 players in total. But on the other hand, there is also something about Freddie Flintoff in the sense that when he comes off, he can win games for you out of nowhere.
Hmm.
Right. So the same way I struggle to figure out what does Freddie Flintoff mean to cricket. Like I really have to like listen to people talk about it, listen to stories. Stats is not really helping me there. At least like
Hmm.
what we have done so far between us, right? Would Ben Stokes be similar to the next generation?
Yeah. In a way, like not in a way, it is similar. Like if you look at like he has like 250 wickets now. I don't know how many tests he has played. Like is it like 100, above 100 or something like that? Like, but again, like he doesn't have a great batting average or a bowling average. So I think the man
121 to be precise. 100.
121 tests and 250 wickets. So it's not a great number as such.
Right.
And
So his
batting
batting
numbers
average
also.
is 34 and his bowling average is 31.
Yeah. So similar to whatever Sunitoff has, like 34, right? Like sub 40 batting average. And we are talking about the guy. The whole thing is that I feel the man is defined by his movements. Like if I think about Ben Stokes batting, Headingley, I'll remember some like I told you as a Vakka, right? 130. Or in New Zealand, no. In South Africa he scored like 250 plus, where Rabada was like breathing fire and like that thing. If I have to think about bowling, like just today in the lunch session, like it was a 23 over lunch session, he bowled 11 overs. He was like a spinner from one end. Like I'll remember that. Like you need
No, wait, you
storytellers.
are talking about how Ben Stokes is defined by his innings, right?
Hmm.
So the other example that I was able to think of quickly was VVS Lakshman. He
Hmm.
averaged 45 in the middle of the great batting era,
Hmm.
right? But the way people talk about Lakshman is not the way you generally talk about somebody who's averaging 45. He was like something else. When you start looking at people who are averaging 45, he's not that great. He's like much
Yeah.
better. Right? And this was because Lakshman's ability to play those innings that wins games, right? So,
Yeah.
so is he that the Lakshman all-rounderish Lakshman in some sense?
Kind of like yeah. I think yeah, like you hit the name like in the head like because like let's say nothing. Let's the match is not important. I don't think Ben Stokes is going to do anything. But let's say 6 or 7 wicket fell.
Hmm.
Some tailender is batting with him, and some 150 runs are left. And it's not like I'm talking about this on the basis of Headingley only. Like he has done these things like where he was not able to win the match, but yeah, but the fear which he put into the opposition team, like every time you know that whenever like Ben Stokes is there, like something anything can happen.
Yeah,
Like
I mean the 2023 Lord's Test was it
yeah,
like when Ben Stokes started hitting Hazelwood, right?
it
For
was
if it was anybody else, the commentary would have been, "Oh, he's playing really good innings, but expect him to go out. Australia is still
hmm,
on top." But because that man had done it, in Headingley
yeah,
and his ability to just come in the back end and smack, the commentary was actually like, "Oh, let's keep hoping the test is
let's
still on."
keep hoping. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I remember like they were trailing by 170 or 180, and they lost by 70 runs. That guy scored like 140, and he hit like five. Like, he's 7 8 sixes where like all the filters are on the boundary, and he was still targeting the mid wicket area. Like like the ability that's this ability sometimes we talk about, right? Like in Test cricket, the hitters of Test cricket, like the let's say people like Head, Travis Head. What he does is that he puts the ball in unusual positions where there are no fielders. Like Travis Head doesn't hit a six in a way. Ben Stokes is very different. He doesn't care who is at the boundary. He hits over the fielder. Like Rishabh Pant has that thing in him sometimes. Like
Exactly, right.
if you put that guy there, he will hit him over that. That confidence.
I mean,
Like
it's a weird thing to
very
say
rare.
that Rishabh Pant is a limited batter. Like, we know how talented he
Yeah.
is. But in some sense, like, he's not like as flowy as Virat Kohli, right?
Hmm.
Like, he's still a little bit mechanical in the way he plays his cricket.
Hmm.
And, he's like, oh, this ball I'm going to defend. And then, like, he'll defend. And
Hmm.
somehow he's like, oh, this ball I'm going to hit for a six. I've defended three balls in a row. And
Yeah.
then he will be able to hit a six. Right? So, Ben Stokes is similar to Rishabh Pant in the sense he's like Rishabh Pant light with the
Hmm.
bat, you would
Yeah.
say. But I think this is kind of like the new age lower order batter, right? Like even with Travis Head, there is a sense of like yeah, I just know I can hit the ball to the offside for a boundary whenever I want. It doesn't matter where
Yeah.
you play, kind of an element with these. Um, right? No, he's also like overall kind of a weird career to judge, right? Like there is this weirdness to his technique because of which he's like there are some innings which are ridiculously good and sometimes when you just don't know what he's doing. And
Hmm.
he's also like transitioned in the midway through his career, right? Like at the start, okay, he's like at the start he was always a batting all-rounder, but England even picked him for the 2015 World Cup as a bowler, or was he playing some ODIs as a bowler? The Faulkner game, if you remember.
I don't remember England 2015 World Cup. Sorry for that. I remember Saudi spell against England 2015 World Cup where he takes
Okay,
seven or
sorry.
eight
An
wickets.
entire country is trying to forget that World Cup. I might have just.
Yeah. So I don't remember England 2015 where they opened
But
with Moeen Ali and like they were doing some different kind of stuff.
but anyways, right? Like in that period, like he was a batting all rounder, and
Yeah.
then like, as time went by, I think right now he's trying. I don't know if he's trying, but right now he's more like a bowling all rounder.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't know kind of like how to pigeonhole him. Like with Jadeja, it's clear, right? Like he was always a bowling all rounder, and I don't know. Until now, he's clearly a bowling all rounder who has upped his game to be
Yeah.
as good as like a decent batter, right? But
Yeah.
with Ben Stokes, it feels like oh, he was this, and then he was something else.
Yeah. Like the
Kind of like Imran Khan's career as well, right? Like
kind of,
he's not
but
as
it's
good
the
as like Imran
Imran
Khan.
Khan in a other way. Like
Exactly.
that's the thing, right? It's so weird. So with Ben Stokes, when
Hmm.
I saw him in 2013, 2015, it was always that okay, this guy will bat at for England at number four in ODIs most likely, and in Test cricket he will bat at number five. Like he's that good of a batter. Like he will be a batter, and he will bowl sometimes. And he used to bowl, and again he was primarily a swing bowler kind of bowler, and then he was not so good with the white ball, and with red ball he used to do again this marathon spells and everything. But again, that transition which we talk about, right? Like with Imran Khan, we know that Imran Khan was a proper fast bowler, and by the end of his career, he was a batter who was averaging 50, like at the end of his career. But like that's what I wanted to talk to you about, like Ben Stokes, like
Sorry. Before
hmm,
we get to that, right? Like I
hmm,
have a few other names here, and maybe these
okay,
are some interesting names to look at. Holder, Jason Holder, for instance, is he
hmm,
like a good comparison, or maybe the inverse of Ben Stokes? He was a bowling all-rounder at the start, and towards the end, he started batting at number six, and was probably West Indies close to being their best batter at times.
yeah,
Right? He averages 30 with the bat and 29 with the ball.
hmm,
Shakib is also like really interesting, right? And the difference between Shakib and Ben Stokes, I don't know, maybe ability wise, you can pigeonhole them together. Shakib averaged 37 with the
hmm.
bat, and Stokes was 34, and Shakib was 31 with the ball, Stokes was 31.
Like yeah, but again, we can see the pattern here in a way. Like Shakib and Holder both are great players in not so good teams. Like not at all good teams. Like these players are far above. They are the main characters in the team. Like in bowling, Shakib will be the bowler. In batting, Shakib will bat at four. Holder is also like that. Like I don't know. In a way, Ben Stokes never got that chance. In a way, like your Holder will always take a new ball. Ben Stokes will come in over number 20. Like
Right.
when nothing is going to happen, I'll call Ben Stokes. Like Shakib will get a ball when let's say like if the conditions are conducive, the conditions are helpful, Archer will get the ball. Your Vokes will get the ball. Your like Ollie Robinson will get the ball. Like whoever, Anderson will get the ball. But the moment nothing is happening, Ben Stokes will get the ball. So it's like a so it's the use case is very different. So but in a way we can say the ability wise we can pigeonhole them. Like they are on a similar ability level, I'll say.
Right? No. The other question I was about to ask
Hmm.
is, these are not Jadeja-esque, right? Like these three people, Shakib, Holder, and Ben Stokes. They
Hmm.
were not like clearly a batting all-rounder, from the start, or like bowling all-rounder in the start, and then
Hmm.
they added on a skill as they went by. There were like some clear fluctuations in the way they were used by their teams. I think there
Hmm.
was a time where Jason Holder looked horrible with the ball. Like it just
Yeah.
felt like he could not bowl anymore. And with Shakib as well, right? Like in the sense of with Shakib, it feels slightly different in the sense he could never be dropped from the team. He was clearly
Yeah.
their best player, and they didn't have the batting to say, "Oh, look, Shakib, you're struggling, therefore we are going to pull you down, like use you differently," and so on.
Hmm.
With Ben Stokes, like you could think of him in different ways, right? So, for instance, in the last series, Jamie Smith was batting above Ben Stokes,
Yeah.
and even in the India series, where Ben Stokes was batting at six and Jamie Smith was batting at seven, it was
Hmm.
clear that if you swap these two, it might actually work.
Yeah.
With Shakib Al Hasan, that was never the case. Like he knew that number four is like wherever he wanted to bat is kind of his position,
Yeah.
and the rest of the team is kind of structured around.
Around them. Yeah. So I feel that's a difference between a good structured team where all rounder is always a filler. Like
Mhm.
he has to take up anything is needed. Like whatever. But the teams like Bangladesh and West Indies, like now with West Indies they have Roston Chase. Like it feels like they put Roston Chase first in the team and then they write the team. So it is different. Like when you get a good player, you do that.
No, that is
So
interesting. Another way to think about all-rounders, right? So there are like at least I don't know about Hardik Pandya now, but maybe at
hmm,
least till a year back, and Jadeja, those kind of people, they are like very transformative in a team. Like
yeah,
you can like shoe them in at number six. If it's Test cricket, Jadeja is a number six, Hardik Pandya is a number six in like limited overs cricket and so on.
hmm,
And Hardik could also take the new ball, and he was actually really good with the new ball. There was a
yeah,
time when he was unplayable with the new ball. He was really there, right? With Ben Stokes, however, yeah, so once again feels like two halves, right? So there was a point where he was like as good as a batter, there, and then there was a point when like he was really good with the ball.
England's best bowler.
Yeah, exactly, right? So
Yeah,
in some sense, he was kind of transformative. Like when he was like a batting all rounder, like he could actually bat at six and he could be a fifth bowler. But in,
yeah,
in white ball cricket, it felt like something was
missing.
right,
Hmm.
or particularly in T20 cricket, right?
Yeah, like again, I don't know what Ben Stokes is in it. I think Ben Stokes also doesn't know what he is. Like I can tell you like two memories if I have to talk about Ben Stokes in T20 cricket. Like just IPL. I remember it was a Rising Pune Super Giants match where like 3 wickets fell in power play. The guy comes, scores a century, wins the team. And again never gets to bat in power play. Again he bats at number 5 6. One match again I remember for Rajasthan Royals against Mumbai Indians. Opens the winning with Butler and they have to chase like 190 or something and again scores a century and wins the match. But again never batted in power play. So I always felt that he should bat in top three because he's not your regular hitter who can hit the ball from the first go. Like he is not that guy. So that's the thing. Like, but again, man won the team a World Cup still. So like a T20
No,
World
so,
Cup.
so that's like the interesting part, right? So if you look at Moeen Ali, right, like
Hmm.
the point was in Test cricket and in limited overs cricket, England was like, like today we don't have an opener. Hey Mo, go open.
Hmm.
Today we don't have a number eight. Hey Mo, go bat at number eight. Like they just used him everywhere. I
Yeah.
don't think Ben Stokes had that with the bat.
Yeah, he didn't have that
To
much.
a reasonable extent, everywhere. Like you can argue that the role that was given to him was not the perfect role in T20 cricket.
Hmm.
At least, like for most of his career, he was given the number five, number six role. Like he knew what to do.
Hmm.
But with the ball in T20s, it felt like he was used all over the shop. Like
Yeah.
the very famously, he was made to bowl in the death.
Yes.
The most famous match I can think of was like for when he was bowling in the death for Rajasthan Royals. I absolutely cannot think of
Oh.
this one game where
When
somebody may
Jadeja
or may not
Jadeja
have
hits
hit
him,
for four sixes.
Jadeja I think Jadeja hits him for a six on the last ball to win Chennai, right? That match you are talking about. I remember that match.
Ah.
Yeah, where like he gets Dhoni out and all, but yeah, but we are talking about Carlos Brathwaite, guys. Remember the name? So, yeah.
Wait, what name?
Oh, I don't think anyone remembers that name anymore, but it's fine.
Yeah.
But whatever, like, so again, I have this theory here. I feel the skill which he had.
Hmm.
So he is a weird swing bowler, can't bowl with a new ball. Like who can swing the ball? He needs a slightly older ball to control it. I don't know. I'm not expert in that, but like we have to, but I think he can't control the new ball. He never tried that. And the skills which he developed with the older ball, the test match skills, where you can hit the spot again and again, ball longer spells, are in a way useless in ODIs. Like you can't, unless and until you can. So that's the only one role which I felt they could have used him was the Liam Plunkett role.
The
But they
defensive
had the
middle,
yeah,
right?
middle or
Yeah.
bottle. But they had Liam Plunkett. So and I think they used like few times, like one or two, or they would have given him. So I don't remember exactly
No, I
what they
mean their
used.
middle overs was kind of sorted, right? They had
Yeah,
Adil Rashid
Adil.
and Liam Plunkett, who has like who'll give you 20 overs every game
Yep.
out of the 30 middle overs, anyways.
Hmm. So yeah, so that's the thing with him. Sometimes it's very hard to guess like what could be the use case. I think that happens with this guy also, Cameron Green. Like we are also clueless about him, what kind of a T20 bowler he is. The tall guy, but tall guy means gets bounced and you can smack him into this crowd. That's what happens. So I think he's trying to invent himself as a new ball bowler because he has a natural swing and all. But again, there is also we are quite confused about how to
No, that
use them.
is always a difficulty with all-rounders, right? So in some
Hmm.
sense, playing cricket is hard. It's not easy. And specialists are spending all their time practicing bowling or all their time practicing batting.
Hmm.
And even with Ben Stokes, right, in T20 cricket, for instance, the way he used to bat, I think if like T20 cricket had stayed on between like the 2012 to 2018 era, like forever,
Hmm.
I think he would have been a really useful and more like good batter.
Like you're talking about the when par scores are like 160 to 180 range. That era,
Exactly.
he's just phenomenal
Right.
for that era.
But once the score started going up, it was
Hmm.
not clear how to start using him, right? Like
Yeah.
even in ODIs, he was not like, oh, come in and then start smacking the ball like from ball number one kind of player.
Hmm.
Like he used to come in at five, I think before Josh Butler, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Butler was at six. Yeah, he used to come at
right,
five.
and his job was to like do similar to what Al Morgan did, like take a lot of singles in the middle, and as you
Hmm.
go by, he would just get into his innings. But you can't do the same role in T20 cricket, where if you're
Yeah.
batting at 5-6, you're supposed to start hitting as soon as you come in.
Hmm.
Right, so that adjustment I felt like he always struggled to do,
Hmm.
and you can't fault him either. Like he's supposed to do so many things for the team, right? And
Hmm.
I know in 2023 they gave him the captaincy as well. He had to figure
Yeah.
those things out. Right. So I don't know. Like it's just hard being an all rounder. So it will be interesting. So for instance, Sam Curran or the Jamie Overtons, right?
Hmm.
You can't try to build the team around them because they are limited in so many ways.
Yeah.
If it so happens that you're able to find a role that works out for them, right? Like if Sam Curran has to bat at four for you, if
Hmm.
it's happening because there is no, there's nobody else to bat at number four, and then your number seven is like a typical all rounder, then
Hmm.
you're really in trouble.
Hmm.
But on the other hand, if Sam Curran is batting at four, because I don't know, you have say Ben Stokes batting at seven, like not Ben Stokes, but Ben Stokes level batter batting at seven.
Hmm.
Then having Sam Curran at four can be like really, really useful, right? I think Ben Stokes
Yeah.
is similar. When he was batting at three for England, that was
Hmm.
a team that could actually bat quite deep.
Yeah.
Right,
So
so they didn't have to worry about depth. So being like slightly weak on the batting when it comes to their number three slot did not matter
hmm.
for that specific team.
Like again, like one more thing was that like slightly unlucky with him is that after 2016 T20 World Cup, the next T20 World Cup happened in 2021. Those 5 years. Like I always say that like Morgan was robbed out of one T20 World Cup win. Like that team had to like Morgan doesn't have a T20 World Cup win, which is absurd. Like Morgan deserves a T20 World Cup win. So that's the thing. So I think he could have reinvented himself. But the moment they reached the T20 2021 World Cup, I think David Malan had a like 1 year of his life. Like he was the best batter in the world for a year. So you can't drop him. So he was batting at three. But still I think by that World Cup he was able to invent himself, do something and whatever he did in finals where the finals was that around 140, 130 game where
So that is
Ben Stokes
probably
can
the
do.
best way to use Ben Stokes,
Ben
right?
Stokes, yeah.
When you need like a clutch kind of an innings.
Mm. And
Mm.
yeah, he did the clutch stuff.
But I
So,
do have a hot take, like, even though I just said that innings was pretty clutch,
hmm.
there are the reason why we see Ben Stokes playing a lot more clutch knocks is simply because of the position he comes into bat.
Yeah.
Either Ben Stokes or MS Dhoni, right? So, for instance, if you think of Sachin Tendulkar,
Hmm.
people keep telling like one of the biggest arguments against Tendulkar was how he used to get out whenever India was under pressure.
Yeah.
But I don't think many of the times where people like confuse with it's not that Tendulkar got out when India was under pressure. India
Hmm.
got under pressure because Tendulkar got out,
Tendulkar got out. Yeah.
right? So if you're an opener or if you're a top order batter, you how many times will you be required to save the team out of nowhere, right?
Hmm.
On the other hand, if you're Ben Stokes and if you're coming into bat at over number 25, that by definition is trouble.
Yeah, but
So if
that's
somebody is
the
being
hmm.
thrown into, like, by definition, that is trouble kind of situations. So the games where Ben Stokes win are automatically by definition clutch knocks, as opposed
Right
to all
now.
the centuries that Virat Kohli makes, which are like regular knocks.
Yeah, I know. Like the thing is that, and but that's the best thing can happen, right, to a man who likes to look like a hero. So I think that's a like, yeah, if you want to look cool, you should bat at number 5 and 6. Like number,
No, no, see, the looking like the hero is like an interesting part, right?
huh?
Like Ben Stokes does not need those kinds of clutch situations to look like a hero, right? Like he
Hmm.
would basically bowl 17 over spells out of nowhere,
Yes,
and
and you don't
every
need it.
ball.
No,
No, you wouldn't
sometimes.
even need that in the
Huh.
situation. But every ball he would be like, he would run in, bowl, and then he'd be like, "Oh, my shoulder," and then like if people
Like
kind of did not understand a little bit, he'll be like, "Oh, my hair." Like he would basically say every body part correct,
everybody, but yeah,
limp
like.
all the way back to the.
Because I have bowled like, and I'm not a professional bowler, but I know if there is some problem with my shoulder, I can't bowl the next ball. It's just impossible. Like I don't know, but it's Ben Stokes, like he's
No, now that he has retired from international cricket,
Mhm.
T20 leagues is an option, but a better
Yes,
option could be WWE, where
yeah,
you actually have to be a good wrestler, but you need to act more than wrestle.
act more, yeah, and tattoos and all. Like I think he has everything which takes to become a nice like WWE wrestler. So yeah, like that's there. So
But
yeah,
also, like, just looking at his overall numbers, right? Like he
hmm,
was he was fantastic in England. I think he averaged 39 with the bat in England, which is kind of like number six and maybe like a slightly bad number five. And
yeah,
if you're able to find other people who can bat, like if you're working with Moeen Ali, for instance, like you can even try Ben Stokes to bat him at five and then work an order around him. And he was good in New Zealand, South Africa, and West Indies. But
hmm,
he felt like he was not like. How do you use him in the subcontinent? Like I think he averaged like 25ish in the subcontinent. So
yeah,
for instance, subcontinent is the place where I really want Ben Fowkes in my team.
hmm,
He was fantastic in the India series, right? Like when he
hmm,
was keeping behind. But now, if Ben Stokes is not giving you number six numbers, like you need Jamie Smith to bat in the
hmm,
team. Like, you can't use Ben Stokes at six,
yeah,
right? Or you can use him at number eight, in which case you really needed Moeen Ali, like who retired a year back. Um, right. So it becomes a little bit tricky in terms of like, can you fit like a full keeper? Like the flexibility that a transformative all rounder can bring to that other side kind of goes away when in the
hmm,
subcontinent. And with the ball, right? Like England, his numbers are really good. And in Australia, I think he averages like 33, which I would still take, right? Like he
yeah.
played in Australia in the 2010s as well, I would assume.
Yeah, and it was a flat pitch. Like it was not suited for his type of bowling, whatever it is. So,
Right, and he had one Ashes in Australia. Or did he have no? The 2021 Ashes he did not play. If I remember right, like he would
huh?
have been out with his mental break, and then he had like one Ashes afterwards, like in 2025. So I think I would take like an average of 33. I would take, and he was fantastic in South Africa and West Indies. He averaged close to like 20s, and that should be perfect. Subcontinent once again is where there's like an issue. Like he averaged like 36 in India.
Hmm.
So now the question becomes this, right? How will you use him in the subcontinent? So somebody who averages 25 with the bat and 36 with the ball.
Hmm.
My hope is that I just carry three spinners
Yeah,
and I use one more fast bowler. So I play Jimmy Anderson and then I play Ben Stokes. So he
yeah,
takes the new ball and and then he bats. But here it
so
just feels like you're caught midway, aren't
yeah,
you?
so the era in which he played, where that era where like India was preparing rank turners, where you need like three spinners and you need pace bowler to like take the shine off of the ball, or some batter Jaiswal will do it for you. He will take the shine off the ball when you are bowling. That could happen. So he played in that era where you don't really need a pace bowler. Like I think like that era went from 2016 2000 whatever like till Virat captain. Like people were not even doing reverse swing. Like people were just thinking about spinners only. Like it was like that. Like some matches are there where people focusing on
No, that's
that.
not fully true. Umesh Yadav was like
Umesh
used like.
Yadav, yeah, that Umesh Yadav summer was there, which was quite cool. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is here is that it was fully focused on spin. And the most unlucky part to bat in India is that you are a left-hander
Oh yeah,
and
it's
there is
true.
a Ashwin there. So
Okay,
you just can't do much. Like it's
okay.
just frustrating to be a left-hander. And with Ben Stokes, I have observed this. Like again, he used to get into that mold that I'll defend, defend, defend. But you can't do that in India. You just can't. On those ranked you can't. And there were like one inning I remember where he scored like 70 or 80 odds, where he just decided, okay, I'm going to smack, I'm going to switch hit Ashwin, I'm going to sweep him, I'm going to do everything.
No
In
wait,
Chennai, I think he did that.
which test was this? The Joe Root double century or the Ollie
I
Pope?
I think not Joe, Olipop. I think it was Olipop where he scored quick fire 70, 80 runs.
Hyderabad. Yeah.
Hyderabad. Yeah,
I mean, he did
that
it
man.
both. He did it twice. Like there was the Joe Root test as
Oh,
well. He was like
but
this
Joe Root
matching.
test, the problem is that it was a flat pitch. Like
Yeah.
it was a flat pitch which deteriorated on. So that was the classic pitch where you win the toss and win the match. Like you bat 2 days well and then it deteriorates. But yeah, that Lollipop test match where he scores 80 runs with strike rate of 100. I think Stokes should have stuck to that. Stokes should have stuck to that. Yeah, but he didn't do that. I don't know. He had this thing that where he wanted to defend sometimes. You just can't do that with against Ashwin. It's just too hard. Yeah, so I won't really like blame him too much to fail against the best bowler we had against left-handers after for in spinning conditions. I think or Stuart Broad will get offended by this, but yeah.
Fine.
So
Okay, so legacy wise, right? Like where would you put him? So we'll go into the details, but before getting into the details,
hmm.
Stokes, Flintoff, both them, rank them.
But the thing is that I have seen Flintoff in 2005 video Ashes where like where he's celebrating and taking wickets.
Hmm.
Botham, I have heard stories when Kapil Dev talks very nicely about him that how great he was. See, for me, Ben Stokes is the cricketer of last 10 years. The man won 2 World Cups. Whatever he did in Ashes changed Test cricket. People can cry whatever like Bazball ruined Test cricket or all. I don't. I will die on that hill. I'll defend whatever they did with the Bazball. And yeah, the man changed the way you look at Test cricket. Yeah, I think for me Ben Stokes. Like for me Ben Stokes is the guy. Yeah, among these three, I can't say sorry because I don't know these three people.
Fair enough.
But yeah, but for me, I can go there and can say that for me, for last 10 years, he was the most important cricketer of last 10 years. Like
True.
from
I
2016 to
think
2026.
there are two names there, right? So one is Jimmy Anderson for
Hmm.
the wobble ball, and one is Ben Stokes for baseball. Uh,
Hmm.
right? No, even captaincy wise, right? Like, see, like this England team won 1 out of 17 tests when baseball happened.
Yeah, so that's the thing I want people to remember. Like I don't know. Huh.
Right, so just because they had like 2 great years at the start of baseball does
Hmm.
not mean like this team is an inherently god level team. Like
Yeah.
their bowling right now is crap. They're relying on Josh Tongue's. I don't know. Like if he tries to hit top of off stump, the ball's going to be like down the wide down
Yes.
the leg wide, right? So like they are flawed in so many ways, but
Yeah.
they found a way to really compete, right? So there are a lot of flaws with how baseball worked out, right? Like there
Hmm.
are places where they should have for starters, hired analysts, done fielding drills. We have an entire 1.5 hour podcast where we are like crying about all of
Hmm.
it. But what did it fundamentally change cricket, man? Like with the wobble ball era, there's no point in blocking.
Yeah.
And for that team, there's no hope in blocking as well. So, like they could have played for very beautiful looking numbers, like, with Joe Root just blocking and then playing like Joe Root for like a long, long time. And then Ben Stokes coming in around the 50th over with the old ball. Like, yeah, sure, he would have gotten like a few centuries, right? Like something that Ashwin says, which I really don't like, that something that he says is like, there was this one game in the 2024 Test series where Ben Stokes would play really well, but he would get out.
Hmm.
And Ashwin would say something like, like the way Ben Stokes batted, he deserved a century. But
Hmm.
mother cricket, if this is the way you treat cricket, like cricket will never let you shine. But I don't think that is how it works. Like
Yeah.
that was something that they decided to do as like, okay, look, this is the only way in which we can compete. This is the only way in which we can make a play.
Also, these ideas about like scoring a century, shining, I think these are like now, like I don't think there is any point to these ideas now. Like, yeah, like Ben Stokes. does shine. Like he will shine, the name will shine. So that's not. And one more thing, the Bazball shuffle, right?
Hmm.
It's real. It's not like only England does that.
Yeah.
Every team
English
is
and
doing
basketball,
Bazball shuffle.
both are real.
Yeah, yeah, like Bazball. Like I think Australia did better Bazball than England in Australia. They
Hmm.
smacked the like hell out of them the way
No,
they
that
played.
phenomenon is happening everywhere, right?
Yeah,
Like your number fives being like the heavy metal number five with
yeah.
Punt,
Look at Brook,
Harry
Punt,
Brook, Head.
Head. Like
Who's
these
South
guys are
Africa?
not
South
traditional
Africa. Is
test
it
matter.
Tristan Stubbs or Devil Revis?
Who?
South Africa.
So they also don't
Right.
know. Yeah. So these guys, like the Bazball shuffle, after that the importance of a good wicket keeper, like whatever Alex Carey did, and in this
Mhm.
test series, the Blundell, he wicket keeping, whatever he did. Like I think Matt Henry should gift his 2 or 3 wickets to Blundell, like whatever the when he keep like started
Oh, just
keeping.
to quickly tell people what the Bazball shuffle is, right? It's like
Oh,
a
huh.
very post wobble ball thing. So the way wobble ball does, so with swing, you can actually try to see the direction of this seam and then try to figure out which side the ball is going to swing. With the
Hmm.
wobble ball, you have no clue. The same ball, depending on like the randomness on like how it hits the pitch, it
Hmm.
can come straight or just deviate a little bit to the left or just to the right. So the way bowlers started to work is like before they had to bowl one full, trying to fish like a fall shot and so on. But now what the wobble ball, what happened was bowlers could just settle on like the back of length, try to hit top off, and then just be there for like an entire spell. They know that there is this one ball that will misbehave and get the batter's wicket.
Yeah.
So as a batter, you just can't keep playing the same shot over and over again. Like you have to make sure you throw the bowler's length out and off. And the
Hmm.
basketball shuffle worked perfectly. They would like one ball they would stand outside the crease. The very next ball they would stand back close to the stumps. The next
Yeah.
ball they'd like they come down the track and then defend. Like trying to throw bowlers off their length
Bowlers of yeah.
entirely. Right?
And I think that's the thing, right? Like now teams need good keepers again. I think that the era of good keepers will come back. Like it won't be that. I think only team who won't have good keepers they will be England. Like they have like a 6 feet tall keeper, which is I don't know how that works, but yeah, they have it. But like I remember, right? Like when India versus England series, Rishabh Pant was keeping in front to this guy. Oh, Akashdeep. To
Hmm.
Akashdeep. Akashdeep is not a slow ball, like 130, 135 bowler. Like these guys, like so the era of good keepers will come back because of the baseball shuffle. The whole the attacking number fives is there. That is also quite good. And I don't know you want to talk about this or not, like right now, but the Ben Stokes captaincy, like the funky fields, the
Oh
umbrella
yeah.
field for Faja, like I think Jared talked about this in his last. I was watching one video. He was telling that he was just counting the field changes Ben Stokes did, and he
Hmm.
was quite liberal in changes. He said that okay, if batter hand of the batter changes, I am not going to count that change. If the over changes, I'm not going to count that change. I'm only going to count the change which is in between over.
Hmm.
And the average was one change per over, one field change per over. So like
No,
it's
the
not
thing
like he
is this,
always,
right? So there are captains who just refuse to change the field.
yeah.
And if you're a batter, like, okay, I'm basically quoting Robbie Uthappa here, right? So if you're a batter, you're happy to play that kind of a captain. Like if
Hmm.
one shot works, you can just keep playing the same shot over and over again.
Yeah.
Or there are captains who like chase the ball. Like
Yeah.
every time you hit a four, they'll put a fielder there.
Hmm.
Then now you can like start manipulating the field and then like, you just have to force one boundary to make sure like your favorite area opens up.
Hmm.
But with Ben Stokes, like there are some places where he's like, okay, look, the batter is hitting here, so I have to change the field here. But
Hmm.
then there are some where he's like, you would have just hit the ball over extra cover. Like leg
Hmm.
slip would move by like
A
half
foot.
a foot, right?
Yeah.
And then like next ball you would defend. Next the leg slip will move another half feet. He'll be like back to where he started. Like you
Yeah.
don't know why he went there, you don't know why he came here. But there's a sense of okay, look, there's something always happening, right? So as a batter, like okay, think of it this way: if you look at Inzamam ul Haq, he was
Hmm.
really good at being focused as soon as like the bowler starts running in,
Hmm.
up to like when he plays the ball.
Yeah.
Difficulty was like keeping his focus after that. So that's why he's legendary for being involved in so many runouts.
Rods. Yes.
But if you're a captain who's now like just doing all these field changes in the middle here, there, and nowhere, right? You're forcing the batter to be like a lot more focused even in between deliveries, right? Like you're not letting the batter just stray and then be in his thoughts and something. The batter has to be present to figure out what's happening every ball.
Like one thing I noticed, like so there is a saying in cricket that you can't place a fielder for bad bowling, right? And in a
Hmm.
way, we always think that the down the leg wickets are luck wickets. Like you get those wickets by luck.
Hmm.
But Ben Stokes had leg slip always. And it
Hmm.
felt that he curated those wickets. I don't know he did that or not, but it felt that. And there is one more guy, it felt like similar thing. It was Dhoni, like who always used to have a leg slip. Like he had
Yeah.
a fascination with this leg slip thing. And Ben
Even this
Stokes also
last
had that.
board test, right? Did he have like 8-1 or something? Like he had everybody in the offside and then there was one guy on the leg slip.
Leg
Yeah,
slip,
leg
yeah.
slip game.
Yeah, so that's the thing, like this leg slip, like again, I have watched cricket. I still can't figure out that how you do that. Like how you decide that I will have leg slip and but with Ben Stokes, like, and we should. I don't know if anyone is keeping those numbers or not. But the most captain, like the leg slip dismissal under some captaincy, I think the Dhoni and Ben Stokes will be at the top. He made the leg slip attacking position. That was very weird for me. Like I still can't understand like how he did that. But yeah, it was very cool.
Backdoor entry is something that Ben Stokes likes. Is it what you're saying? Right. No, okay, that is his captaincy. I think that
This
is
is
really, really
kids
important.
watch our podcast.
Right? No, no, with the ball as well, right? I don't know if he changed bowling fundamentally in some way, but I
Hmm.
think he is going to be part of this much larger trend of fast bowlers with much higher longevity, with longevity. Okay,
Longevity. I don't know whatever that word is.
with him, like with Mitchell Stark, right? Like for
Yeah,
instance, if you look at Imran Khan, as you were saying, like he was a really good bowler, and then he started to bat quite well, but his ability to bowl like started going down as he aged.
yeah. He became slower and slower, so he just
Right. And
take the
with
sting
Wasim
out of it.
Akram, like with him, it was like really extreme. Like he became diabetic, and he would just come off a few steps, and then he would bowl.
But he was the same Akram.
Yeah, sure, right? No, there's a skill there.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. But in Ben Stokes' case, right, like him losing all his muscles, like I think we should just count all the times we talk about Ben Stokes losing his muscles. That's like
Mm.
so fascinating for
That
me,
is fascinating. Yeah.
right? So the point is like if you're a fast bowler, you put like close to 10 times your body weight on your knees, like when you're
Hmm.
slamming your feet into bowl. And then if you have like a lot of aesthetic muscles, which are not really helping you with your bowling speed, even if
Hmm.
that muscles is like 2 kg, right? You're putting 2 times that on your knee when you're slamming your feet into the ground,
Yeah.
right? So any muscle that you could lose, and he lost all of that. So that is not like somebody who was looking like he wanted to retire. So
Yeah.
he lost all of that, came back, and then he was just like bowling long spells. And
Yeah.
if you think about it, right, like I think in the last podcast, I don't remember which podcast we were saying, Ollie Robinson, he would have really been benefited if Ben Stokes was around, right? Like if Ben
Hmm.
Stokes' ability to just bowl longish spells with the old ball means you can use Ollie Robinson for with the new ball, and then
Yeah.
you can like tactically use him whenever you want, as opposed to requiring him to bowl 20 overs a game, right?
Like what my fear is that Root gets a captaincy and he gives the Ben Stokes role to Jofra Archer and we never see Jofra Archer again after one match. So
No,
that
I
would
don't think England would go back to Root as like the full-time
yeah,
captain.
yes, but that's just a sideline because I fear that Root the way Root handles Archer, I don't know, he has some issue with him. But yeah, the like I would like to come back to your point, like losing muscle and doing that, right? Like the first time I saw this thing, losing muscle and getting better was David Warner. Like he was
Mhm.
quite chubby and used to hit long sixes. Like, I don't think people remember David Warner. People remember David Warner like a very smart guy, like the way he running between the wickets, playing nicely, every IPL scoring 600 runs, being
Mhm.
the best IPL batter ever, just on the sideline. And like, yeah, but David Warner was a Maxwell before a Maxwell. 2010, just go back, watch those like New South Wales Blues matches, or just watch his debut. He's smacking Del Steyn on from his front foot and all. Like he's quite strong guy. But then he wanted to improve, like he wanted to be better, and he lost all the muscle. But in context of bowling, I am hearing this for the first time. Like I saw this for the first time. Like when I saw Hardik, I remember Shoaib Akhtar saying that Hardik needs to get stronger. Like he needs to put up some muscle on his back, like the way Shoaib was. Like Shoaib was quite
So he was like
muscular.
pulling lorries and all he used to say, right?
Yeah, yeah, I used to say these things. And but with Ben Stokes, it was the other way around, where he lost the muscle. I don't know what Stark did, but whatever he's doing, it's working great for him. But yeah, like whatever the point is, right? Like the faster bowlers increasing their like the longevity, like with
No, it's happening with a lot of people,
a
right? I
lot
think
of people. Yeah.
Shamsi at one point, I think he wanted to become fitter, so he tried a new diet.
See, I'll stop here with Shamsi and Fitter. Like he doesn't even look like a cricketer for me.
No,
Like,
no, 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 no,
hmm,
no, no. Like he was actually very intentional about it. Apparently,
hmm,
so he got into a diet and then he started losing muscles. And then he
Okay.
couldn't put the kind of revs he was putting on the ball. Like he wasn't able to do it. So he stopped
Oh,
and then he started putting on weight again. He wanted to go back to what he was able to do before, right? So people understand these things
you
like
know,
lot more than like the previous generations.
so do you remember this cricketer named Ramesh Pawar?
Sharad Pawar's brother? No, no,
No,
he's the
no,
off
no, no,
spinner,
no, no,
right?
no.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
an off spinner, and he had a very similar story. That he said that he wanted to lose weight.
yeah.
He lost weight. His fingers got thinner
Hmm.
because of that, and he was not able to put revs on the ball, so he had to get fat again. But I
Right.
don't know.
Mayank Agarwal faced the
Yeah.
same trouble, right? Like he became really fit. He looked like really like he was on point, but he
Hmm.
couldn't hit the ball over cover side. Like he couldn't clear mid off mid on when he came back to the IPL. I think there
Yeah.
was this one IPL where he would like celebrate as if he hit a century when he hit a 50.
Hmm.
And that was like the IPL where he looked really fit, but he couldn't generate the kind of power he used to do when he was with Punjab Kings.
Yeah.
So this is fascinating with the ball and with the bat. I don't think we have to speak about him. Like the man has
Yeah.
given us so many great innings that we'll all remember.
Yeah.
So yeah. So overall, what do you think about his retirement? Like how do you think
Like,
England handled it? What do you think about the
so
overall?
see, I had a like if you guys watched the last podcast which we will upload before this, like like I had a similar opinion. I felt that they went too far. With all the criticism and everything. It felt like they sidelined him and he saw that what is coming after this. Most likely they were going to lose the test. I think he was going to lose the captaincy and then he thought that let me get out on my terms. That it's like I will do something with my way. I never thought that he had the retirement in his mind because he just lost the weight. He became that super fit bowler just 8 9 months back. You don't do that without you do that for an ashes. Okay, you do that if you are an English cricketer, you only do that for an ashes. You don't do that to retire
Technically, there
against
was
New
an
Zealand.
ashes in the middle, but yeah,
Yeah,
keep.
yeah, but you do that you do that for that. So I never thought that he was going to retire as such because see, the priority he was not playing IPL. He had prioritized not internet. He had only prioritized the Test cricket. Like he was not playing in ODIs. I don't think they can need him, but they don't need him in T20s. But he was not even thinking about it. Like, he was a professional Test cricketer right now in that moment. Like he was a pujara for them. So I think the kind of sacrifices he made, I was thinking that he was going to play that Ashes. So it just feels that it was very badly handled. But I'm
Right.
not surprised with
So,
ECB. So yeah,
right. Now, thing is also this, right? Like, this is the conversation we were having in the last podcast, like, whenever it comes out.
no,
Um,
it comes out now. Yeah.
okay. But yeah, so the point here is okay, look, there was something that had gone horribly wrong with the basketball era,
Hmm.
right? In terms of, the overall professionalism of it,
Accountability. Yeah.
right? Like, sure, like, for instance, there are like some long-term things. If you look at Maxwell, I
Hmm.
don't know if Maxwell is somebody who will be partying all night the day before a game. I really don't know. But
Hmm.
on the other hand, it is also clear that he is a party person. Like the
Yeah.
way his athleticism has dropped off as he has been aging, right? That's clear, and that's also like a byproduct of like the overall partying that he has been like involved in,
Doing.
and so on, right? But here is like really on the extreme. Like there has been so many incidents about like with Harry Brook and like the day before the ODI game and so on. So I think something had to change somewhere. And I
Yeah.
was fine with England dropping him for and Gus Atkinson for the second test.
Yeah.
But forcing him to retirement, I don't know. Like this is all speculation. We don't know if that was what has happened or we
Yeah.
don't. Like Ben Stokes was also feeling a little bit done. Anything could be. But if it was like he was forced into retirement, right?
Hmm.
That might be an overreaction.
Hmm.
If you think about it, like sandpaper was also similar, right? There was something that was fundamentally wrong that was going on with Cricket Australia. There was a win at all cost attitude, at
Yeah.
whatever cost attitude, which was not just a matter of being competitive, right? It started from like the top. It was like a very toxic organization at that point. So something
Yeah.
had to change. But that something is not has nothing to do with whether Steve Smith needs to be banned for a year and David Warner need to be banned for a year. At the end of the day, it is ball tampering. Like one game, two game, okay, like be extremely stringent. Three games, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is does it require a full year? And in both those cases, right, like without Ben Stokes, doesn't England's bowling attack look a little barren? Like you need somebody bowling with the old ball, just
Old
filling in
boy.
overs for this attack to function
And
together.
it felt very short-sighted because like last two Ashes series in England,
Hmm.
Australia was on the brink to win it. Like Australia, I still don't know how they didn't win. Like it was so close. Like the first time when Ben Stokes, like and both the times Ben Stokes was the guy. Like he was the guy, like a batter, a captain, a bowler. Because I mean they didn't win. Like who are going to save them? Like again, like I would like to have like okay, I'll be happy for Steve Smith and Pat Cummins to have a nice Ashes win in in England, but like I wanted to see Ben Stokes in England. Like it felt like it was very badly handled. And again, like Stokes,
Is it also
like
a pattern, right? Like in some sense, the Kevin Peterson era.
yeah,
So, I don't know if you remember, like last year, Ben Stokes would go out and then say that the press has an agenda against Ollie Pope. And Jared
hmm,
has this fantastic podcast about what it looks like when the English press actually has an agenda against someone.
yeah,
He points out what they had against Ollie Pope was basically them chattering about, oh, is the current worst player in the team do they need to be replaced? And that
hmm,
happens in every culture. But on the other hand, England at one point they had an agenda against Kevin Peterson.
hmm,
Like journalists were put in the conference to ask really difficult questions to Kevin Peterson,
yeah,
make him like come back and fall in line. And Kevin Peterson is not the guy who's similar
ah,
to that, right? I think this episode right now might be similar to that. Like every article that you see was like I was being reminded of Ben Stokes' like overall past about the Bristol incident and like
hmm,
a lot of things. See, he's not a saint, that is for sure. It's not clear that he's a good person who's going to win the Nobel Peace Prize or something like that, right? But does that mean like you'll have to remind all of that now, like push him to retirement and so on, right? Like that, like he could have offered like 2 years of really high quality cricket, and
yeah,
maybe like even suspending him for like a series, like sure, and then move on.
hmm. Like again, like these are all speculations, so we don't know what happened, but it just like I don't know, like for me, I have seen when like in 2012, 13, when Sachin retired, like grown men getting emotional, like, oh, we have watched this guy for like 24 years and now he's retiring. Like for me, I think Ben Stokes' retirement was in a way that like I am thinking now like England is going to play Test cricket and Ben Stokes. Like I like when England is down, I'm always thinking, okay, Ben Stokes will be there, like he'll do something. It's like that. Like for me, like
Okay,
Virat's
so
retirement, right?
going
It
back a little bit, right? So we
hmm,
were we started this podcast by talking about Williamson's retirement and Ben Stokes' retirement, right?
hmm,
Both are really great players, right? There's no doubt about their greatness.
yeah,
With Kane Williamson, I think his numbers suggest greatness that is much more than his real greatness.
yeah,
In the sense, like if like somebody who doesn't really follow the game that keenly looks at Kane Williamson's numbers from a few years
hmm,
after, they would probably put him on par with Dravid at the very least, if not certainly
yeah,
not Tendulkar levels and Steve Smith levels, but certainly on par with Dravid.
yeah,
But Williamson has like a lot of resume holes. Like he has not doesn't have that great records against like the strong teams, like when
yeah.
they
When it mattered, yeah.
right? So he's great, but his numbers kind of flattered him a lot more.
Hmm,
And Ben Stokes is like the other end of the spectrum. He's great, but his numbers might be a reason why he gets forgotten. Uh,
yeah. Like,
okay,
man,
right.
one more thing, right? Sometimes things are on the cards. Like Virat's retirement was on the cards. Like we knew that he was not playing well in 5 years. It felt that it would have been better if it had come slightly earlier for his own or our career graph and how we judge him, everything. Williamson's retirement was also on the cards. Like we knew that he's trying to do something else and everything, but this was not on the cards. So that's why it's a shock in a way that greatness and all things are there, but it felt like it was just not done. It was not done. Like for me, it was not done. Like yeah, like I've wanted bench like the way big player goes, right? You go to in Ashes or you go in a World Cup or you do something like that. You get a movement and you do that. Like it would have been funny if he tries to defend his Ashes and then go or something like that. So that was the shock value. Like it was like a big shock value. I think no one knew. I don't think anyone knew this thing will happen. So
True.
yeah,
No, but he has two World Cups and the credit for changing cricket fundamentally with Bazball.
yeah,
So maybe this is where we should end our podcast.
yeah.
Adios, Ben Stokes. Adios.